go.
Welcome to episode 34 of Shenanigans, season 2, episode 2. Episode 34, that number has special meaning. That is Giannis Antetokounmpo's number. This is the Giannis episode, I guess. You know, like 23 and 24 was the Jordan episode and the Kobe episode.
Funny because, like, I think last episode is when I said that I wish Greece could make a good basketball player.
And they did. They have one of the best players of all time.
I forgot, yeah. I don't know why, man. I just feel like he's like African or looking or something. I mean, I don't know.
He is.
You don't remind me of Greece.
Well, I mean, he is. He's half.
There we go. Okay, at least
I forget which country. I think.
I won't guess.
Yeah, I don't want to guess either, but I swear I remember it. Fucking shit. I mean, I had a good weekend this week, though. I performed on stage.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I performed on a stage with people actually watching me and shit and turning up to my songs. That shit was actually cool as fuck. I performed with an old friend of mine, Steven, Evol Steven. It was cool as fuck. It was a show he was putting on with his little music group that he got. Well, it's not really little. It's pretty fucking big. They got a lot of members, actually. But I was one of the guests up there who was performing, and it was cool. It was really fucking awesome to see him and everything. And it was fun because he told the story about how he said, this is the same speaker I had when we was doing this shit on Caleb's birthday in his fucking garage.
I was there.
You were there. And I was using the same exact speaker, except this time it's way fucking different. Because I'm on a stage and it has a backdrop that has a fucking, like, a radio station on it and shit. And I'm like, goddamn. And there's like people other than, you know, the homies watching me. I'm like, shit. It was fun though, I did good.
That's scary. I mean, I'm not a good performer, so I feel like... How'd you do?
I did really good, actually. I got my jitters out after I, like, introduced myself and told a story, and then I kind of didn't, like, pay attention to anyone for real. I kind of just, like, looked around, and other people were, like, performing, like, they, like, put the mic down for a second, got in the crowd, and started doing shit, but me, I was just, like, standing there, like, moving around and shit, and jumping sometimes, while just doing it bar for bar. Like, the other people were performing, but I was going, like, word for word performing my songs, which was cool, and I think everyone liked that, because I feel like it was really fun. I got a lot of fucking cheers near the end, because they really liked the last, like, two or three songs that I played.
Hell yeah. How many did you do?
I did 6. Made sure to play the best ones last, of course.
See, that's good for you, man. I don't know. I feel like I don't have that gene to where I can pull that sort of stuff off. Like, I've performed and I've competed and stuff before, but I'm just, like, not good in the moment. Like, I would fucking, my voice would crack and or I'd forget a lyric and then I'd freak out or something. Like, so it's good for you that you can do that. I also hate people, so I don't know how I would do that in front of people and like a party.
I feel that. I fucking thought the same shit, but when I got up there, I was really high, and that kind of helped too. Because I wasn't really paying attention to people. I was just kind of trying to pay attention to me singing the song.
I listen to Kill Tony a lot, and people will
I
go
love
up there
Kill
and,
Tony.
like,
I just started watching that.
it's really good. But they'll go up there and they'll fuck up, and then they'll be like, "Oh, Tony, I'm really high today. You know, I smoked a joint before this," and they'll be like, "Everybody fucking does that, dude." But that's I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to
Right
say
into
that's like that seems like I feel like everybody does that on that stage.
I mean, they wait for like hours.
Hey, that is true.
So there's something.
I'll
But
take an edible.
hell yeah! Speaking of edibles and tripping and all that, Aaron Rodgers last Monday, he played the Niners in his first game back since tearing his Achilles, and he did survive it this time. Hell yeah! But it wasn't a win. Was not a winning effort by the Jets, unfortunately. And but you know, Obviously, we've seen him play week 2, but what did you think about that week 1 game? No CMC.
The week 1
Jordan.
game made me realize that the Niners have really good run blocking. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is an amazing player, and they're going to want him back as fast as possible, but Mason can keep the load for now. I think the Niners are going to be good, even though they did just get beat by the Vikings.
I had that. I kind of saw that coming for some reason. Like
I felt
they
that
did
too
that
for
last
some
year.
reason.
I don't know. Like the Vikings seem very, like I don't know. They seem very tight knit or together or focused, something like that. One of those synonyms, but like really
They match up
just
very
good
well
early.
against the 49ers.
Also, just like some teams struggle early, some teams don't. The Jets. Let's keep it. Let's keep it in this game for now. Everyone kind of struggled in this game. Mike Williams didn't even have a catch in this game.
Yeah.
So, like,
Oh,
what do you think they're lacking at all on their offense or also their defense, their run stopping, everything?
well, their offensive
To a
play,
lot of
their
defense.
offensive play calling, their fucking blocking in general, is still pretty lackluster. Aaron Rodgers just isn't what he used to be, but he's still better than anything the Jets have had in the last fucking probably 40 years, I'd assume. But I mean, he doesn't look like old Aaron Rodgers, like MVP Aaron Rodgers, of course, but
Yeah,
that
he's definitely the strength of their offense. Does seem to be their running backs, which is like, I thought it would be him spamming Garrett Wilson, but that's not been the case too much. Like
mm-mm,
he had one really good pass in this game that was like a back shoulder pass, and they have a good connection, those two.
they
But
do.
I don't know that he has like the veteran ability that like Devontae Adams had in their last couple years together. Like Devontae was pretty much always wide open, and Garrett can do some crazy shit, but he seems to be contested a lot more than Devontae was. You know what I mean? He'll
Yeah,
still grab it.
I know what you mean. Fucking Garrett Wilson
It
is
has been
just a
hard
younger
to get
player.
running. Yeah, and the Mike Williams signing, even in week 2, he didn't really get anything. So I'm wondering, like, I know he was struggling coming back into the season from his knee, but I'm wondering how much that is. But let's move on to another game. What's up? So the 49ers and Vikings. Let's talk about that game. Might as well.
Yeah, we were just talking
Niners
about it.
lost. Oh wait, actually, we should talk about Bills Dolphins.
Oh
Never mind
yeah, we
that. That happened
should.
first.
You know what? I kind of expected this. I kind of expected the Bills to blow them the fuck out. Like I predicted the Bills to win, but I'm not gonna lie, I did predict a blowout.
I will address the elephant if anyone remembers. I'm pretty sure like last week, I wished Tua would get an injury or a concussion or some shit, and it happened. So I don't know. I blame myself, but I blame DeMar Hamlin more. And let's not pretend that Tua wasn't sucking dick before that it happened anyway. He had 2 interceptions and then another one that was a pick 6, so 3.
He did throw
And they
3
just
interceptions.
yeah, it was it wasn't a good performance by him, and he wasn't doing good last week either. So that Tua sucked anyway, and then he ran into DeMar Hamlin, the indestructible brick wall that is DeMar Hamlin. Nothing gets to that guy. So yeah, there's questions of his health and should he retire and everything. He's come out and said he has no plans to. What do you think
I
about
mean,
him retiring?
they talked about that like last year too, and he said the same thing. I don't think he's gonna retire. I don't think. I mean, maybe he probably should, honestly, but I don't think they should force him to. He should be
I'm
able to do
kind of
whatever he
thinking
wants.
I'm kind of thinking that DeMar Hamlin, he ran like into his chest, which is just what T Higgins did. And so I'm thinking DeMar has to have like some Iron Man fucking chest armor under that jersey to protect his chest now or something. So like, what do you think? How hard was whatever Tua ran into?
Well, they probably don't have anything special underneath DeMar Hamlin. He probably has standard pads, honestly, because the whole situation with DeMar was he got hit at the exact time that his heart was pumping, And that's like so fucking rare to get hit in the chest while your heart is in the middle of a beat. So
It makes a lot of sense. I think the same
so
sort
it
of thing
stopped his
happened
heart.
to.
Like his heart started like he got hit hard while his heart was in the middle of a beat. Then his heart like started like basically stuttering and then just fucking stopped.
Yeah, the same thing happened to Tua. He smacked the shit out of Damar's chest plate at the same moment that he remembered sliding is a thing, and then he died. So, you know, hope he's back. Actually, I don't really hope he's back. Honestly, I don't think Tua's that good. I don't think he's gonna lead them to a Super Bowl. I was saying they were gonna trade him before they paid him. But they love him there because of partially because the concussion thing that happened and they scared him. And Mike McDaniel's is they love each other and all, but yeah, Tua, please retire. Don't want to see that happen anymore. Fucking Dolphins can draft like Quinn Ewers or something, trade up. I don't know. Get
Ryan
a rookie.
Tannehill is the Dolphins quarterback now.
No, he's Ryan Tannehill. No, he's not. Skylar Thompson.
He got signed though, I think, or some shit.
No,
or maybe I heard
signed,
rumors.
They signed Snoop Huntley. I saw rumors of him returning to Miami, but they definitely traded for
Okay, it's just
Tyler
rumors.
Huntley. Yeah, but I mean, I think Skylar Thompson will get the job there because he did play good in that one playoff game, if you remember.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But well, anything else? Tyreek kind of didn't do much. Achan's a beast. He did so much, especially in receiving. But yeah. So they're gonna be a rushing offense now. I just saw a post earlier that Achan's gonna get more touches. So they're gonna be a heavy running offense, and Tyreek is not gonna get the ball much.
Glad I took Achan in fantasy. I saw this coming. I saw him getting more touches as the season came through.
They have like 4 running backs, but whatever. Let's move back to the 49ers and Vikings. Sam Darnold had one of the best touchdown passes I've ever seen. Most of it was on Justin Jefferson, but he actually hit this big, he hit a big post like up the left, like from the right down to the left, like in between the two safeties, and then he hit the bomb to Jefferson. He cuts back and he like juked out both guys to run into the end zone. And I was just like, oh, fantasy! But, yeah, I mean, I love that they beat the Niners.
Me
especially
too.
because Kevin O'Connell was a former Ram. So it's like, why can he beat him, but we can't?
I
don't
mean,
know.
who knows, man? It's just the Vikings match up better.
Also, Brian Flores, I'm very impressed with how good the defense still is, even though, like, all of their corners are fucked up. Like, the worst things have happened to that corner room, and they still, like, held the Niners to 17. You know what I mean? They didn't have CMC, but they did have Debo and everybody else. What did Ayuk do? Has Ayuk done anything?
Man, not much, and I drafted him in fantasy over Debo. I had a chance to draft Debo over him every single time, and I fucking drafted Ayuk, and I'm regretting it so far, but, like, I don't know. It's only 2 weeks in. But a lot of guys get paid, and then their production wanes off, I noticed.
Yeah, I mean, also not practicing.
Well, that too.
He's gonna have so many other options. Ayuk's probably the last one now because he's like, damn, I haven't thrown to you all year. But if you're my last read and you're deep, I guess I'll throw it. But it's whatever. I hope they crumble. CMC is on injured reserve. Debo's now hurt. We play them next, so maybe we can win. Probably not.
I don't know. You got both your best receivers are out, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Cooper Kupp's hurt too now. My brain was like hiding that from me like a traumatic memory or something.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But
let's go to the Jets game, I guess, since we just did Niners Jets. We'll do the Jets Titans.
Titans. The Titans lost because the Titans fucking suck. Except their defense is not too horrible.
Their defense is good. It's just literally Will Levis doing one stupid ass thing per game.
Well, yeah, I think their defense is good. I was just saying, I think their secondary is kind of the best part of it.
I think Will Levis is like, I don't know, JJ McCarthy with Josh Allen tendencies. I
That's funny.
don't know.
Man,
I
JJ
like just.
McCarthy's
I'm
better.
kidding. Yeah, that's. I only said that because I said I was going to compare them going into the year, and then JJ tore his knee, so I couldn't. And Will Levis probably won't be a starter by the time JJ comes back, so I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
we never had the chance. I never had the chance to really be wrong about that bet.
Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdown passes, 176 yards, but um, 18 for 30. I mean, that's good, but that's not what I expect from Aaron Rodgers.
They're gonna be a running offense soon. I'm pretty sure. Like they're falling in love with Braylon Allen.
Oh yeah, I liked him. I was hoping the Cowboys drafted him, but we didn't.
Yeah, y'all have a pathetic running attack, honestly.
Yeah, we do. Oh my God, it's so fucking bad, but it's not as bad as the Bears. Thank God.
Yeah, I have Swift in fantasy. I know, but is there anything else in the Titans Jets game of note? He did have a nice like. Will Levis has the tools. He had a nice touchdown to Calvin Ridley. That I did that in the same like touchdown playing as the Titans the other day on Madden. Like he just has a cannon right up the middle, like cover two or something. Ridley did the same thing that Justin Jefferson did pretty much, but it was a tight window throw, and he still got it off to Ridley for a big touchdown. So I still say that the traits are there. Let's not write him off till like the end of this year.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah, I guess, but he don't look good. Seahawks Patriots. The Patriots look better than they fucking were looking like their roster. Like they went to
I
overtime
mean,
with the Seahawks. They won last week.
this is probably like just because the offense, but that defense we should have seen coming. To be real, I kind of forgot about Christian Gonzalez when he got hurt, but he's been shutting down. Who did they play? They played Jefferson Jettis, like he's or not Jettis. They played Jamar Chase. He shut him down, and then they shut down. Who did they just play? Oh, not they didn't really shut down DK. Not
No,
on
DK had a big game on them.
I'm
And
sure he shut
and
down whoever he
and
was
Jackson
on.
Smith and Jigba had a big game on them.
That's what I was about to say. They both had big games, and like, so I'm sure he was shutting down whoever he was on at the
Who,
crunch
Tyler
moment.
Lockett?
Yeah, I guess if he was on Tyler, I'm sure for this
Tyler
game they
Lockett
moved him
didn't do
around.
shit.
I won't be surprised if like they moved him around, but yeah, three receivers. I mean, that one of them though for DK was just like a broken play. He had like a wide open 60-yard touchdown. Um, but I don't know what the deal with is with the Patriots. While they're consistently this good, there's probably not a big chance we're gonna get to see May soon, which I want to see May. So how do we get Jacoby out of there? Because I like Jacoby. Like we should probably get Jacoby, or someone that needs a backup or something should get Jacoby. Like the Panthers, or I don't know, Packers.
I don't know.
Packers
It's
should
probably
have
smart
Jacoby.
to start someone else first year. Honestly, if he does good enough, I expected the Patriots to be so bad that Jacoby got benched by week 5, but that's probably not going to happen.
Jacoby's been looking good, like better than he did when he was saving the Browns. So
Well, Jacoby Brissett is back on the Patriots now. That's
yeah,
his.
but they like
That's his
don't have
team.
weapons. Like he had Amari Cooper and Njoku and stuff back then,
I
but
know, but that's his team.
really Hunter Henry is probably the best option he's got.
I feel like he just feels more comfortable in a Patriots uniform than anything. He won like 2 or 3 Super Bowls when he was the backup there.
He was there that long?
I don't know if he was there that long, but I'm pretty sure he won like a ring or something. But I know Jimmy G won like 2 or 3.
I know Jimmy G and Brissett were there at the same time, and they both won rings. So it's like, I don't know the exact timeline, but was it always like Brady, Jimmy G, and Brissett in one room?
I don't really remember too much. I think it may have been for like 1 or 2 years, but not outside of 1 or 2 years. And
It's just like now, man. They got
it
fucking
was mainly talked about the year where he was fucking suspended for deflating balls.
Joe Milton's gonna be that new Tom Brady boy. I'm telling you what. Uh, but what else? Like I mean, Gino and Cino. I'm reading Seahawks and trying to say Gino, but Gino didn't have the best game for a while until towards the end, like when they got to overtime. But he's like, let's see, what did he have?
Man, Seahawks. That was a good game.
He did have 300 yards.
Jackson Smith and Jigba had his first big game, I think.
He looks good, but I don't know. Him and DK, I'd still take DK.
Let me see. Giants and Commanders. This game is funny. The Giants, I'm pretty sure, scored 3 touchdowns this game. Went for 2 every single time because their kicker's injured. And the Commanders won off of 7 field goals. So it was 21-18, and Commanders didn't even score a touchdown. They didn't score at all outside of field goals.
This year of the Commanders is not going to be satisfying, man. Like, I don't know if you've watched any of their games.
Oh yeah, no, it's not going to be at all. But
it's a lot of screens.
Jaden Daniels does look good though. He looks promising.
Dude, I wish we had Jaden Daniels. Like, with having Stafford as your old man quarterback, like, he's good, but now this year, obviously we're looking shitty, and going into the year imagining Cooper Kupp and Puka are out for a long time. Stafford's pretty much on his own out there with that shitty defense and shitty O-line and shitty weapons, like, but it's not great. But at least with a rookie quarterback, you'd be like, all right, now he's going to develop, and we're going to see what he's made of, and we're going to see what he can do with these weapons or whatever. Stafford is going to get hit a lot. We're going to play the Niners with Nick Bosa. Like, he's going to get sacked a lot. And at least if it was like a rookie like Daniels or some shit, he could run away. So, long story short, I'm jealous of the Commanders for having a guy like Daniels.
Well, they sucked enough to get him.
And they fucking don't throw to McLaurin. He's like a decoy out there.
Yeah, they don't go to him for some reason. It's weird. They haven't done that for the last 3 years or so.
Brissett was that funny enough, talking about Jacoby. Last year, I had McLaurin as my fantasy receiver, or one of them. And Sam Howell refused to throw to McLaurin. I don't know why. And then they were playing us. And this is going to be a point I was going to get to later when we talk about the Rams. But McLaurin had like his season game on us when they benched Sam for Jacoby. Because Jacoby was like, oh, I'm just going to throw it to the best fucking guy I got. And he got like 100 plus yards and a touchdown. Like, he mossed Darian Kendrick and everything. But yeah, I don't know. They're misusing their weapons there in Washington, and they could be better than they are. It's truly a coaching nightmare there, I'd say. Like, the offense, the offensive coordinating is not great for anybody. And, like, it's easy shit for Jaden, I guess, but it's not fun. And then the defense, like, what? I don't like defensive head coaches taking 3 years to get their defense right. Like, the Saints with Dennis Allen, this is year 3, and they're looking sexy right now, but it took too long. People were questioning him.
God damn. Everyone's so impatient nowadays.
I think so. I mean, why? I don't know. It's probably Clint Kubiak. Like,
it takes time to build a team.
Now, and it's immediately changed. Like, last year they had no fucking motion, and now they have like a top rate of motion in their attack this year. So it's like literally just coaching.
I guess it took the Rams 4 years to put together what they took. So I mean, it takes time to build a team, honestly. Unless you build a dynasty, then you just fucking build a dynasty. But even dynasties build up after like fucking for years before they even win their first ring.
All right, well, let's talk about the Rams game then. So, McVay, This is what I'm saying is overrated. Like we we knew fucking Marvin Harrison was gonna be their best weapon probably, even though like I don't know everyone breaks out on us, man. I'm sick of it. Everyone is always breaking out versus the fucking Rams. Marvin Harrison, a fucking huge game. What was it? Four for
For
what?
130 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so he broke out on us. I remember when Chris Olave played us his rookie year, he broke out on Ramsey. Same thing with Drake London, he fucking broke out on Ramsey. Um, Anthony Richardson broke out on us last year. Just everybody's gonna do it, and our defense keeps getting worse. It's fucking frustrating, man. And I swear to God, because we could go 1-16 all year. I don't give a shit as long as we win the fucking Bears game on week 4. And I don't think we're gonna do that. I think Caleb is gonna get his shit together versus us, and I'm gonna hate it.
I don't think so.
What do we have to offer him? Tre'Davious White might be a smart veteran corner, but he's gonna not be able to cover 3 of the like if Keenan's healthy and or whatever, and all their guys are healthy. He's not covering DJ Moore.
Yeah, but it's the fucking Bears.
Okay, I don't know, man. I'm just telling you. Don't be surprised if week 4 Caleb is passed for 200 yards or some shit.
But yes, I see Kyler Murray finally decided to start throwing to Marvin Harrison Jr. after last week. Everyone was like, hey, did you see like he was wide open like 3 or 4 times?
He could have had another touchdown, but he barely missed one on Josh Wallace. He didn't do anything to Harrison. It was like a spinning catch and he couldn't grab it.
Nope.
Yeah, this game was fucking frustrating. After the second Marvin Harrison Jr. touchdown, I was just like, okay, fantasy's looking good now, but can the Rams be okay? And then I was like watching Red Zone, and eventually he comes back and he's like, yeah, Cooper Kupp's hurt. Looks like an ankle. So now we're waiting on the results of that. I have no idea what we're gonna do.
Well, here's something I want to talk about. The Chargers. Jim Harbaugh continuing to dominate, even though it is against another fairly easy team. Well, fairly easy team. Probably the worst team in the league, the fucking Panthers. But still, he did the same thing he did against the Raiders. They didn't do too much, anything crazy. They played it like, they just played a run-heavy fucking offense. J.K. Dobbins did his shit again.
Did a flip.
Quentin Johnston had a good game. Herbert.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Herbert was like 8 for 12. He was pretty efficient, like 170 yards and like a touchdown or something. Like,
when I saw him throw that ball up to Quentin Johnston, I was like, "Oh shit, he caught it!" You know what I mean? I was like actually surprised that he got it.
I told you he could have a bounce back from his bad rookie year, yeah, I do expect this to be more of a running offense from the Chargers. I don't expect Herbert to have like fucking 30, 40 touchdowns and like 4,500 yards or anything. But I expect big games from Herbert when they play better teams, because I feel that's how Harbaugh, like, I guess, coaches. Like, you know, he's a run guy and play action, and then you have a guy who's elite like Herbert, so whenever he passes, there's a good chance that you could get big fucking chunk plays, and you're not overusing him, and you have a good offensive line and everything, and a good run game for him. Like, I think this is good for the Chargers and Herbert, and their defense looks really good too. Even though they did just play the Panthers, next week will be their first true test.
Yeah, as far as the Panthers, Bryce Young just got benched. Week 2, he's not done anything, unfortunately.
He might be worse than Jamarcus Russell. He might be the worst bust of all time, like, actually.
Possibly.
I'm not even shitting you, like, not even Jamarcus Russell was this bad if you look at the stats and everything and how he played.
Bryce could still be a good backup one day, once he get used to the league or something, but I do think you're right, and I think everyone's right to abandon the starting quarterback idea now. It sucks, too, because I just think he's too small. Like, he doesn't have the time. Like, his offensive line is not the Browns or the Lions, even, no matter how much they want it to be. I don't know if it was this week or last week, but there was a play where the whole defensive line tripped over each other, and then the whole offensive line like fucking didn't know what to do at one point, like on a screen or some shit.
Yeah,
They're
man.
just a dysfunctional
I
franchise.
I don't think it's him being small. I do think it's more of him playing for the Panthers. But even in college, I don't understand why he was the first overall pick. He wasn't that impressive in college.
Well, I think it's a couple. I think the Panthers thing is true. Like, I think if he goes somewhere else, he'll be better there as like a backup or whatever. But I do like watch Andy Dalton come in and like give Xavier Leggett like 100 yards next game or some shit. You know what I mean? He put up like 360 yards in his last game with the Panthers, with basically just Adam Thielen and DJ Chark. So
yeah, it's very possible.
I believe in Andy Dalton.
Well, here you talked about your pain a little bit. I want to talk about. We can talk about. I wouldn't really call it my pain. I kind of come to expect it now. Like the last 2 years, I don't really get mad at Cowboys losses. I kind of expect them. I mean, it's kind of sad to say that, but I'm not mad. I expect this, and I'm not really fucking too invested. So, I mean, it's expected. Like what
y'all
the
will
fuck?
still be good, but not top tier, obviously, from this game.
Yeah. We only have C.D. Lamb. Fucking. I mean, Schoonmaker's good and go blue and everything, but Jake Ferguson is our best tight end. He's out, and even though he's a good weapon, C.D. Lamb's our only like crazy weapon, and if he's gone, our offense is fucked, cause our running backs suck. Like we might as well try Dalvin Cook out at this point. It'd probably work out better. Um, Dak didn't have a good game. He threw 2 interceptions. I think one of them wasn't really his fault though. But
So you're 2 up on the Kyler versus Dak interception bet.
hey, man,
It's
still possible. The Saints defense is fucking nuts though. I mean, it looks like it. And Derek Carr had a good game. 11 for 16, 243, 2 touchdowns and an interception. He's very accurate this year. Alvin Kamara had a fucking crazy game. 20 carries for 115 yards, 3 touchdowns, also 2 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. He had 4 touchdowns on us. Alvin Kamara's back.
He had the same amount of points that the Saints scored as fantasy points he scored.
Yep.
It was pretty crazy.
Chris Olave is back, 4 receptions for 81 yards, and it looks like Derek Carr, you know, everyone was kind of like Reed Shaheed. They were kind of a little fucking. Everyone was kind of iffy on him, but I was kind of like, I don't know. I think Derek Carr likes this guy, and I do think Derek Carr really likes this guy in the first 2 games. I expect him to have a good year this year. I'm glad I picked him up in fantasy. And when I do some bets, oh yeah, I have some bets at the end of the episode. Well, not some. I think I just have one, but still.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, the Saints. I kind of seen this coming, not as much, but
Yeah, I didn't see us getting blown out. Like I said, we'd win, but shit.
I just meant the team in general. Like I
Oh.
think, I thought they'd be good. I predicted them to win the division, and I said their defense would be really good. But I didn't know that Clint Kubiak, coming from the Niners as a special teams guy, would really make such an impact like it has in the first 2 weeks. But it's cool. It's cool to see because it's like the Saints are one of those teams where it feels like they have locked themselves into this like kind of hole, and now they just made a few changes. Like they got Chase Young and they got a new OC, and now they're kind of they're hot and they're fresh and they're back. So it's like it gives hope to any team like that. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I like to see that sort of thing happen. It's kind of what happened with the Giants that one year, though.
That is funny. Man.
Moving on to another game. Browns, Jaguars.
That was fucking boring, but the Browns won a game.
Deshaun didn't look that bad. He had a few plays where it was like he would scramble to like his left side and then use his right arm to throw, and it was accurate, and it was like old Deshaun magic a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to be as elite, but if he can get into like a flow for the season and stay healthy, maybe like my Browns in second place prediction isn't so bad.
Yeah, maybe not.
Jaguars, fucking, I don't know. Like I knew they wouldn't really get much going with versus that defense, but I also kind of thought like maybe Trevor will take a step and be able to win this game because he's the better quarterback. But I think we know where Trevor's at this point in his career. Like he's just a step below all the other elite white quarterbacks. You know what I mean? He's just not Herbert.
Bro,
But
fucking Trevor?
Caleb just broke everything. I don't know what that was.
Trevor Lawrence fucking is not what everyone thought he was gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's just. It seems like he relies on his traits a little bit more rather than like getting used to the NFL game. Like he's still good, but when he's like out there analyzing the field, processing, it kind of looks like he's still slow. Or like at the sign of any pressure, he abandons everything. He's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna try to run now." I mean, which is normal, but I don't know. He doesn't look as NFL veteran-y as he should now with the contract. Who else? Who else can I compare that to? Really, like, there's not a lot of guys. There's not a lot of guys like that. I mean, kind of how Jaden Daniels looks. Like he's so experienced and stuff, and he's got the NFL level, but he still kind of looks not. He's not comfortable, and that's kind of seems how Trevor Lawrence is to me sometimes. Like he doesn't seem always too comfortable. But I like him, and I want
Brian
Trevor
Thomas
to do good.
Jr. is looking good though.
I love him.
Yeah, he's looking really good. I'm happy for him. Fucking, what is you got? Colts versus Packers. Did we talk about that?
Not yet, but I also want to point out Amari Cooper has not done shit this year so far.
Oh
Blame
yeah,
Deshaun or whatever, but it's funny.
might be time for his down. Like he's getting older, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe. You said Colts Packers.
Yeah, Colts Packers. That was kind of a fucking boring game, but Anthony Richardson reverted to his college self and threw 3 interceptions. And didn't.
One of those was off the Hail Mary. So you can't blame. I'll say 2 interceptions. You know what I mean? Josh Jacobs, he had a big day. He had 32 carries for 151 yards. I had Josh Jacobs and Anthony Richardson on fantasy, so it was like Josh, instead of getting a touchdown, Josh got 1 fumble, and instead of getting another touchdown or winning anything, Richardson got another fucking interception at the end of the game for me. So this game was kind of just like that for me. Also, there was the center puking on the football. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
I'm surprised that doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, I'm surprised it doesn't either, but I've seen it happen plenty of times before.
Anthony Richardson needs to get like a real receiver or something because he had 1 pass to Adonai Mitchell, 5 to Alec Pierce, 3 to Michael Pittman, and then everyone else is like I don't even know who some of these are. Tyler Goodson, Trey Sermon, Drew Ogletree, Kylan Granson, Ashton Doolin. I know Mo Alley Cox, but like all the others, they all had a fucking reception. I'm like, are these backup running backs and tight ends and shit? Like, who's he throwing?
I don't know. Malik Willis, 12 for 14, 122 and a touchdown. Not bad. But they
Good for Malik.
fucking just spammed Josh Jacobs the entire game. 32 rushes, 151 yards.
Yeah, good for my fantasy, for real.
Yeah, this was kind of a boring game. Not really too much to talk about, except Anthony Richardson sucked and Josh Jacobs fucking killed them.
The Colts defense is not as good as everyone thought it would be. Like, Latu, he gets pressure, but he's not finishing really. I don't think he's gotten any sacks or anything yet. He definitely did nothing last week. See, did he get a sack? No, he got a tackle or something. Oh, he got a forced fumble. That's cool. Maybe he's the one that got the fumble on Josh Jacobs.
Speaking of sacks, there's a new sack leader in the NFL. This guy from Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson from the Detroit Lions. They lost to the Bucks, mainly due in part to Jared Goff throwing the ball 55 times and throwing 2 interceptions in that
No.
span. Him sucking ass.
Respect Baker Jackson, man. Lamar Mayfield out there. You see him running and juking people for these rushing plays. He's out there putting the team on his back. All right. He's like, fuck it. I've been sacked 5 times. Do it 5 more times, huh? Watch me run. Fucking, he was not giving up. Baker heard me saying that he was due for a down year and that the Bucks would be the last in the division, and he's fucking put the team on his back and ran and just he's everything. And he's not throwing it to Mike Evans. I need you to throw to Evans, Baker.
Brian Branch had an interception.
Lit up. Brian Branch, he did have an interception, and it was a good play too. He read that shit well. There was like a lot going on in that play. I don't get how I don't get how DBs can find the ball sometimes in the madness of all that shit, especially when they have an assignment at the same time. But yeah, Brian Branch is really good for them. High IQ player.
Yeah, Jameson Williams, increasingly getting more targets and getting better. He's definitely their wide receiver number 2 stick. Like, he's definitely their wide receiver number 2 locked.
Yes, Jameson Williams, another player that broke out playing the Rams.
Amon-Ra St. Brown coming back to form, 11 receptions, 119 yards, having a good game. But that still wasn't enough to beat the Bucks. Baker had a good game, but his passing game wasn't all too. It was pretty accurate. He did throw that interception, but it wasn't too bad. But it wasn't really that good. But Baker turned into Lamar Jackson, had a crazy 11-yard fucking touchdown run, the longest run of his career. Chris Godwin had a crazy game.
I know. I was playing against a guy who had Chris Godwin in fantasy.
Jalen McMillan had a big 21-yard fucking catch.
That game sucked, except for Baker and Aiden. Aiden Hutchinson, though, like, defensive player of the year leader right now, must be. But another team with a defensive player of the year candidate on there, Mr. Max Crosby with the Raiders. I only say that because he had a big tackle for loss on Derrick Henry that I remember. But probably the upset of the week here, right? Raiders-Ravens.
Yeah, but you would probably expect it from the Ravens, given their history of leading games by like 10 points in the fourth quarter or some shit, and then losing 23 to 13 in the fourth quarter, and they lose 26 to 23 to the fucking Raiders. Gardner Minshew, 30 for 38, 276 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Zamir White continuing to be ass. He is not what everyone said he was. Brock Bowers broke out today.
He's a legend.
98 receiving yards. Devontae Adams also had himself a game, 110 yards and a touchdown. Pretty fucking good game for the Raiders. The Ravens,
I'm not worried about them. I think they could totally go for like 10 wins undefeated at any time during the season once they figure this out. They do this shit where they just like pretend not to know how to do football situations, and then all of a sudden they do.
Yeah, I kind of feel. I mean, yeah, the Ravens will bounce back and win games and shit, but they probably aren't gonna win no Super Bowl this year.
They make the playoffs. I mean, they are 0-2, so they have a hole to climb out of. But you know, if they make the playoffs, I trust Lamar and Henry. I mean, I guess I don't have a reason to. At least in the wild card, I trust them because I feel like they'll play a worse team. But, you know, go Bowers. Minshew wasn't doing too hot in the beginning, but, you know, he just threw it to his guys and they did the rest. I don't really know what else to say about that game. Not a cameraman. What's it called? Like one of the chain gang guys, I think. I don't know if he got hit or what, but someone had like a CPR emergency, and like a chain gang guy went down with like a heart attack or something. So that was weird.
Damn.
Yeah, but it also like they also had a bunch of spots like with the gang fuck up this week, and it reminded me of preseason when they had the virtual chain gang, and I was like, what happened to that? I swear I thought that was going to be the main thing, but I guess they were just trying it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I still feel like they need the physical chain still. But fucking
I
either
still
way.
think the Ravens can get out of this hole that they're in.
Yeah, I think so too. Either way.
The division leader though, the Steelers just beat the Broncos.
They just had a boring ass game. Another one.
They're gonna be boring.
But they're 2-0.
Russell Wilson got the game ball because they beat the Broncos. You see that?
Yeah, for no fucking reason. That's funny.
Eddie game ball.
Justin Fields fucking being a game manager out there.
Dude, I have Pickens on fantasy, and like Surtain fucking was on him most of the game, and he still like was beating Surtain for the most part. And then, but a bunch of penalties kept calling back big plays by Pickens. It was pissing me off. Like holding by Broderick Jones a bunch.
Man.
Bo Nix, I feel bad for Bo because I mean, I said they could win a lot of games because they were about to win. Like they were pushing for playoffs last year. They were like 7-10 or some shit, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So I was like, well, Bo's just gonna fit the system probably better, but I think they probably needed a little bit of Russ abilities to continue to win with those receivers last year, because now their receivers really look like shit now. I don't know if you saw Greg Dulcich dropping a big pass, but he dropped a few of them.
Yeah, it did. I'm not surprised. He sucks. That game sucked.
He was good like years ago. Greg Dulcich.
Yeah. The Bears and Texans had a boring game as well. But
yeah, is,
CJ Stroud is really good.
We should look at the Bears' schedule one day and like see what kind of hard shit they got, because they got the Rams in 2 weeks, and that's just gonna be a layup for them. I fucking watched
Nico Collins had a crazy game.
He's really good. I don't know what he wasn't good enough to carry with Davis Mills and shit, but nowadays he's making like the most insane catches I've seen. Him and Stroud are like I don't know. Stroud's top 3 quarterback to me now, so
that's a weird little duo. Ohio State Michigan duo right there. Or I said Michigan State, Ohio State Michigan duo. Got the state. It's almost like it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter once you get to the fucking NFL level.
Cam Akers had a fumble.
That's funny. Yeah, Cam Akers suck now after his Achilles injury. Caleb Williams had 2 interceptions.
DeAndre Swift is appearing to be one of his best receiving options, so as long as he keeps doing that, my fantasy is going to be popping.
Yeah, speaking of which, the Bears' offensive line is ass. Like, their blocking in general is ass, but their run blocking specifically is fucking horrendous. Oh my god. DeAndre Swift had, like, the last 2 games, I think their running backs had, like, 2 yards per carry. In this game, they didn't even have 1 yard per carry. What the fuck is going on? Then you got Caleb Williams, who, even though he had 2 interceptions and shit, and he didn't have too good of a game last week, he shows some stuff that I'd like, and I like the way he looks, and he has good pocket awareness. He has really good pocket awareness, but it's kind of fucked up that he has to keep running, like, away from these defenders and backwards out of the pocket, evading everybody, just to fucking either throw the ball or throw it away, or maybe run the ball for a couple of yards, because this fucking offensive line sucks ass. Their defense is fucking crazy, though. Their defense is really good.
I wouldn't say Swift is the best running back to give to like someone like Caleb now, but I do want to point out, I think he's doing worse than Bo still, even though Bo still has not thrown a touchdown, and neither is Caleb. But I think Caleb is just like relying on his skills a little too much, and Bo is just like, oh shit, I don't have as good as receivers as Caleb does.
I still think Caleb Williams done better. He looks better.
I believe, motherfucker.
I mean, Caleb Williams been sacked more than any quarterback, but he still has really good pocket awareness. I mean, you just happen to get sacked when your offensive line sucks ass. But I've seen him dodge a lot of sacks, so he could have a lot more sacks on his hand right now. That sounded pretty fucking gay, but
Yeah, dude, he's paints his nails just to put sacks on his hands. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah. Here's a game I want to talk about.
Once he can start reading the like, once he can start reading the field better, I feel like he's not seeing the openings as well as some other people would be. Like, I don't know. If you put Jaden Daniels on this team, bro, I think they'd be cooking.
I don't know. It's the Bears still.
I was just about to say that. Maybe not with the coaching. They should have not kept Eberflus, but I don't think they were gonna fire the coach and trade the quarterback. Like, that would have just been a total morale drain.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, go Texans, I guess.
Here's a game I want to talk about where I was pissed off about. Bengals lost to the Chiefs 25-26. This was our head-to-head, actually. You're 2-0 in the head-to-heads this season. I barely lost. Evan McPherson missed a extra point, and also the refs fucked the Chiefs, or not fuck the Chiefs. The refs fucked the Bengals a little bit, like they usually do when the Bengals play the Chiefs, or when the Chiefs play anyone who's kind of beating them or close to beating them. But Joe Burrow, I was right. He did have a little bit of bounce back game, 258 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their running attack doesn't look that well, but also the Chiefs' run defense is really, really good. It's their pass defense that kind of took a hit. Mike Gesicki
Jamar better
had a
tighten
big
up
game.
if he wants that deal.
Yeah, he ain't doing shit today. Or not today. He didn't do shit that game. Mike Gesicki had a big game, though. But like I said, the Bengals can compete and they can beat good teams. Well, I know they didn't beat the Chiefs, but they can compete with the best of the best and beat the best of the best when they fucking catch the balls. I told you, when they catch balls. Like last week during the Patriots game, they would have won like 28-3 if they didn't drop everything and fumble all the time. So the Bengals showed.
It was pass interference.
The Bengals showed that they can keep up, and I think they will dig themselves out of the 0-2 hole that they're in right now.
Did you see the guy, Cam Taylor-Britt, who was talking shit on Xavier Worthy, and then he caught a fucking Odell interception on Worthy?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too. He fucking talked this shit and he backed it up, and I kind of see it. I'm not gonna lie. He was kind of right. I mean, so far he is kind of right. Outside of jet sweeps and straight up fucking big fucking shots where he's so fast and just catches the ball and burns someone in a straight line, he's not too good.
That's on Andy Reid. They did the same thing with Tyreek Hill. That's what he bitched about when he was trying to get his new contract. He was like, yeah, they use Kelsey more. They just send me on deep routes. Like, I can do more. And then that's what they did in Miami. They used him as like a real number one option. And it works. So like, if they just did the same thing with Tyreek, like that with Worthy, and they make like more routes for him and shit, and they plan around him, then it'll work that way. But I think he's just a gadget player for the moment.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean,
they clearly love Rashee Rice. They love that guy.
Yeah, I'm so fucking happy I got him in fantasy.
I did not. I figured he'd get like in trouble or something.
Not yet, not now.
The court date is supposed to be like in a few months, or in a month, or this month, I can't remember, but it wasn't before the season, so the court date, he could get in trouble and then shit could happen. You never know. But Deshaun is probably going to get suspended again. Did I mention that when?
Yep.
I did?
I think you did.
Yeah, he got some other girl saying that he assaulted her. So
Yeah.
I saw a thing where if he gets suspended, the Browns can take away guaranteed money from him, and I don't know if it's like all of it or what. It said the guaranteed money in his contract, which is all of it. So
That actually might help the Browns win games.
they can cut him if they do that. They can cut him and get rid of him and get a whole new guy if they can just get that money back.
Yeah. Wow. And the final game we have here for week 2, Falcons yesterday they beat the Eagles 22-21. Drake London caught the game-winning touchdown, and Jesse Bates caught the game-sealing interception.
This game mattered a lot to my reputation because my girlfriend lost her first fantasy game and really needed to win this one. And so Drake London and everyone involved, Jake Elliott barely got enough points, and Devontae and Dallas Goedert all barely got enough just to lose, or for my girlfriend to win by like 2 points. So my reputation is fine for another week.
That's funny. Yep. I saw something. There was like a bet. And it was like Jalen Hurts over 230 passing yards. And I just said, fuck no. AJ Brown's not in.
They were throwing to somebody else. Who was it?
Kobe
Smith. Yeah, that guy. It's like the returner.
Yeah, punt returner.
Weird.
Well, punt returners are just wide receivers. They just don't fucking usually play.
I don't think the Falcons are going to pay Kyle Pitts.
No, probably not. Kyle Pitts doesn't look too good.
He's just like a good receiver. He probably the Dolphins should trade for him or something.
Bijan had a good game. They got Tyler Algier in the offense more, which I'm happy about.
I think Tyler looks better than Bijan when he plays.
Yeah, sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. Darnell Mooney had himself a big game, which I'm happy about. I like Darnell Mooney.
When I was watching and Bijan was in, Tyler would get 5 yards. But when Bijan was in, he got not as much. He had a couple explosive plays when he got a really good running start, but when he anticipates, at least maybe versus the Eagles, his O-line doesn't give him any room to explode after he's trying to be shifty. He's really athletic and stuff, and he can catch and shit. It's just not I don't know. He's not. I feel like Saquon or would do something better with all the opportunities he gets. But when he gets a running start, and he tries to run like he's Derrick Henry, that works. I don't know. But Bijan frustrates me because I had him last year in fantasy.
Bijan. Yeah. Bijan, I don't know what it is. He's probably just not as good as he was obviously hyped up to be, but he's still pretty fucking good.
That seems like the way a lot of the Falcons players are.
Yeah.
London is not as good as he was supposed to be. He's good, I love him, but he's not as good as he was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's true. Fucking man, that was it for NFL Week 2. What a week! NFL is back. I can feel it.
We got to do our. We're not gonna predict Week 3, obviously, but hopefully this episode we're recording this on the 17th of September. Hopefully it's up tomorrow on the 18th. That way, all the games, we're not gonna. You can hear this before the Thursday night game, but we're gonna predict the Cardinals-Lions game. I'm picking Cardinals. He's picking Lions. That's our Week 3 head-to-head.
Yes.
I hope if I go up 3-0, it's gonna be a big lead, bro.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, I know the Cardinals look good and everything, but the Lions are still the Lions, and they still play hard and tough and with grit. And I think they're gonna win again. I don't think they're gonna go under 500. I don't think they're gonna allow themselves to do that.
Yeah. We'll see. But the only other thing, there's a couple things I had to mention before we move on from football. There were a few injuries in one signing. Kadarius Toney was signed to the Browns before they beat the Jaguars, so they are undefeated with Kadarius Toney. Fun fact,
The Chiefs have 2 Super Bowls with Kadarius Toney.
Well, what does that say about Kadarius Toney? You know what I mean? He's the X factor.
Exactly. He's the best player in the league right now.
The Browns are gonna figure out how to get rid of Deshaun's money. They're gonna cut him, and then Jameis and Kadarius Toney are gonna go win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you. I don't think it'll be Tom. I know you like Dorian Thompson-Robinson more, but I just think he's like not. He hasn't played enough of the actual game to win the games like that. I don't think.
I still think they'll try him out first.
We'll see, bro. That's a bet. I bet it'll be Jameis. You bet it'll be Thompson-Robinson.
That's true.
But more Brown stuff. Not actually Browns, but it's kind of funny that they're both named Brown. Derek Brown is out for the year. I don't. That was like a minute ago. I kind of forget what the fucking injury was. I don't have it pulled up. I think it was his knee. But he's out for the year. The best Panthers player. Might get traded if they fucking suck so bad. They might just totally rebuild again.
That's what they should do.
Maybe, but with Andy Dalton, my Xavier Legette bet with 800 yards this season is still kind of alive. Hopefully, he has like a huge game next week. But I
praying for you.
Deontay Johnson instead of Legette. But the other Brown injury, Hollywood Brown will be out for most of the year with his shoulder injury from the preseason. I did not expect that really when I saw the hit, but you know, it's funny that the first game was versus the Ravens. They didn't like him because he was an injury risk a lot, and then he was injured. So ironic. He'll probably be back for the playoff push though. So they'll definitely be in the playoffs unless Mahomes gets hurt or something.
Man, if Mahomes gets hurt, that would be fucking crazy.
This is fucked up, and I already wish to a fucking injury. But if Mahomes like got hurt for a whole year, it would kind of be like a breath of fresh air because it would be like, okay, well the Chiefs aren't gonna win the Super Bowl.
No, imagine they still did.
That would make the three-peat a lot more inspiring, honestly. But I
think I'd be so pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? How do you even beat this team then?
Down to gate again. Just for the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs I'd say the Chiefs are already technically a dynasty at the moment.
Oh yeah, 3 rings is enough for me.
Yeah, 3. I'd say that's the threshold. 3 rings, and let me see. They got Super Bowl 54 and then 57, 50. So, what? 3 rings in 5 years? Yeah, that's a dynasty.
What other teams have really won recently though? Eagles, Rams, fucking Bucks. What before that? Patriots, I guess.
And that's a dynasty.
Yeah, Patriots was a dynasty, but
that's the longest dynasty. That's a 20-year long. Usually, you think a dynasty, it's like a team of the decade. That was a team of fucking 20 years.
I don't think there's been another team that's won like Super Bowls in the past decade besides those teams. Those dynasties, like repeat multiple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not remembering everything at the moment very well, but whatever. Anyway, last thing, this isn't really football, but could have been a shenanigan of the week, but it deserves its own talk. Shannon Sharp fucking had sex on Instagram Live, bro.
On accident, and his management came out and said that he was hacked, but then the morning after, Shannon Sharp said, yeah, I accidentally fucking pressed, I accidentally turned on the live and I didn't know. He said he was just happy that it won't show on the live.
Bro, he was getting it in, dude. He's like 50s plus.
Ocho Cinco was fucking joking the shit out of him on the podcast.
Never heard you talk like that, Shannon. Yeah, it was pretty funny. I listened to them talk about football the other day. They're pretty funny.
Yeah, I used to listen to them at work.
Ocho Cinco is an idiot at betting, though. He bet for like Masvidal and McGregor in their last fights or some shit, or their last big fights, and they were like, "You a lot, Connor, you a lot, Jorge," but They both lost, and then he was saying that Garrett Wilson would go for 150 yards Thursday night, uh, versus the Patriots, and they got Christian Gonzalez, bro. He's gonna shadow Wilson the whole time.
I'm not
And
gonna lie.
Shannon
I could see Wilson having a big game though.
on Gonzalez, bro. He shut down like Tyreek Hill when they played.
Gonzalez isn't gonna cover Wilson the entire time.
Why wouldn't he? That's what
Because
they did with
because there's
Shannon.
gonna be a point probably where Gonzalez is out for like a snap or two or something, and Garrett Wilson's in.
I mean, maybe. I guess that's not really them putting him on like.
Or
Mike
maybe
Williams.
they're in, or maybe fucking, or maybe whatever the fuck, Christian Gonzalez is in his zone, and fucking Garrett Wilson is not in his zone, so he's not covering Garrett Wilson.
Maybe, but well, I'm just saying, Garrett, like they didn't even do that great on the Texans or Titans. What did Garrett have on the Titans? I didn't look.
I mean, yeah, but the Titans have a good passing defense, I think.
They got Snead and they got like other corners, but so does the Patriots. I don't know the other Patriots corners off the top of my head. I think it's like Jack Jones or some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't think Garrett Wilson will have over 150 yards, but I don't think it's impossible, and I think he could have like a 90 to like 100-yard game.
Yeah, I mean, I would like it. He's on my fantasy for sure. I just like Ocho. I don't know. He sounded like he didn't give a shit to hear about good defense or whatever. It was whatever, but I like them. Shannon's funny. Shannon interviewed John Cena. That was cool. He gets a lot of big interviews now, and it doesn't seem like this has affected it in any way. Like he owned up to it. People think it's funny. It didn't show anything, so it's like they don't. He's not fired or anything. No one cares. It's pretty cool.
Man, let's go moving on to UFC, I guess. This was a very decision-filled night.
Yeah.
No one.
But they were good fights for the most part.
Yeah, they were, but I wanted to see finishes. I saw no finishes.
When did you start tuning in?
I tuned in when Diego Lopez started fighting.
And you watched the last two fights, right?
Yeah, I watched Shevchenko win. I did not expect that at all. But, damn, Shevchenko still got it, I guess.
And, okay, good. If you watched tonight, because I watched everything else because I fucking passed out at the end. So I'm gonna actually talk about the whole card a little bit because there's only 10 fights, and like most of them were worth the fuck. Raul Rosas fought, boring ass decision. He won 2 rounds, and then it was not worth a bonus. But he then asked Dana for a bonus and to talk about a new contract. He's already got CTE or something. And then this guy Joshua Van in the flyweight division fought this guy Edgar Shirez. And Shirez was way bigger than Van. Van's like 22 years old, so he's really awesome to me. He's a young guy, and but he's a really good boxer. In the first round, Shirez was eating up Van's leg, and then towards the end of that round, Van started hitting him with a body shot, and because he's got great boxing, and then they got into a fucking brawl. Like they both got hurt like 3 to 4 times each. And it eventually, they would wrestle to take a break and stuff, but then they get back up and it would be the same. This is when I was blowing you up to start watching the fights because it was amazing. I figured this is the point of the fights. Like I knew they had really lightweight people, so there wasn't gonna be too many instant knockouts or anything. Like there were nobody above 155 pounds. I don't think on this card. So it was
Damn, there was only 2 finishes on this card, and it was in the prelims.
Yeah, the next one was this lady who I was expecting a boring fight, but she got the girl down to the. Ketlin Souza got Yasmin Jariki to the ground and then choked her unconscious. She didn't tap out, and it was just pretty instant. It was only 3 minutes into the fight, but yeah, she got performance of the night. I guess the other girl was Mexican, so she got choked out unconscious in front of the Mexicans. Then Ignacio Bahamondes, do you know who that is?
No.
He has a famous wheel kick KO, one of the wheel kick KOs in the UFC. He's a really good striker. and he just knocked this dude out, Manuel Torres, with a right hand, like a straight right, Conor McGregor's looking right hand or straight punch, I guess, and then because the other guy was just rushing forward, like swinging hard at him, and he timed the right hand perfect. That
Well,
was a good knockout.
that's what happens to you when you think your skull is as thick as Yoel Romero's.
The Mexicans were going crazy, and a lot of them
Bro,
won actually.
bro, oh my, you know what I was thinking? I'm sorry to bring this up now, but like, Yoel Romero's skull is like what, like 2 or 3 times thicker than a normal human being's? Why didn't that motherfucker just go and like swing in me? Like, if I was him, and I'd be like, fuck, man, it's like 3 times harder to knock my ass out. I'ma fucking just go on these motherfuckers swinging.
I mean, it's
Do the
kind of what he
Sergey
did.
Pavlovich technique.
It's pretty much what he did, and then he would like kind of wrestle.
I mean, against Izzy.
Against Izzy, because he was really old at that point. I'm pretty sure, and like Izzy had just knocked out Robert Whitaker for doing that same thing. So I mean, I don't know. No, everyone
fair.
was scared of Izzy at that point. You know what I mean? Nobody was fighting Izzy like DDP is now and shit. Like Izzy, I guess Izzy was just more healthy and in his prime back then. Because honestly, it looks like he hit different back then, and he was just faster. Now he's like 36 or some shit, but I don't know. Anyway, the next fight, Norma Dumont, Irene Aldana. The only thing significant in this fight, honestly, was like a headbutt that opened up a really mean cut on Aldana's head. Now she can't even see out of her like right eye for right now because it's all swelled up and shit. But yeah. Then the main card, I was pretty wrong for most of these actually, except Diego Lopez. Yeah, so I was like 1 for 4 on the main card.
I was
Ode Osborne,
2 for 4.
Ode Osborne, and Ronaldo Rodriguez. Ode Osborne knocked him down with like a mean right hook really early into the fight. And it looked like he was out, and then he had him in a triangle choke for like what seemed like 2 minutes. And then Rodriguez got out and then would beat him on the ground and then just beat him with pressure in the third. So like he won the last 2 rounds. Ode is a famous loser, honestly. Like either in spectacular or finished fashion or some bullshit like this, choking to win.
Never mind. I went 4 for 5.
I swear we picked all the same ones except for O'Malley.
Did we? I thought I picked Diego. I picked Diego Lopez. I thought I picked Ronaldo for some reason, and Esteban, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, I remember because we were talking about we didn't know Ronaldo and Zellhuber had long reach. But
Oh, okay, yeah, I remember now. I got you. Yeah, so I went 2 for 4 then, or 2 for 5.
Zellhuber and Ribovic, I picked Zellhuber because he's just like the bigger guy. And for the most part, like he was landing when he felt like it, but Ribovic had the more power and then was just putting it on him more. Like he hurt him bad in one of the rounds, and then Zellhuber just had like some crazy head movement. They had one of the best third rounds ever. You missed some really good fights, bruh. I was barely nodding in and out of consciousness though. This one won fight of the night. And
Damn.
yeah, the end of it was a split decision for Ribovic, which is crazy. Like they never. I was surprised they gave them not the Mexican the split decision.
They did it.
Okay, and yeah, but that was the guy I said looked like Drakus a little bit, and he kind of fought like him. Anyway, the next one, Diego Lopez versus Brian Ortega. I picked Diego Lopez. That was the only one I was right about. He fucking hurt him bad in the first like minute with like a right hand and a left hook, and then kind of like just maintained control the rest of the fight until the end. He was like, he almost hurt him again. Lopez just was. I said he would crack him. Like he's just more powerful. It's his time in the sport now. Brian Ortega was like younger back in the day, and he had also kind of done steroids before he got in the UFC. And so like,
Yeah, I think Diego Lopez might be one of those guys who might get a title shot soon if he wins some fights.
he's calling for one. He wants a title shot. But Volkanovski has promised the title shot after this next one, I'm pretty sure.
No, but I want to see Lopez fight someone else first, but I do think he's up. Yeah, I think he's up there for one soon.
Yeah, I don't know who I want him to fight really. I do want to see Brian Ortega versus Josh Emmett though, just to see if Josh Emmett can knock him out or not.
I want to see Diego Lopez fight fucking Arnold Allen.
I think Lopez would win, but Arnold, maybe. I think he would probably submit Arnold. Arnold lost to Mazvar Evlaev, who Diego Lopez put a good fight up with. But next fight, Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. This is when I passed out, so go ahead, Caleb. How'd this fight go?
Shevchenko kind of just fucking kicked her ass the entire time. I'm not gonna lie to you. She was just walking her down and just fucking kicking her ass. Shevchenko took her down 8 times. It was really fucking bad for Alexa Grasso. She looked really bad, and Shevchenko looked really good. She won all 5 rounds, in my opinion. I forgot what the judges scored it, but I'm pretty sure it was probably 50-45.
Hell yeah, I heard she wrestled a lot. I didn't bother
she did
watching.
wrestle. She did wrestle a lot, but even on the striking, she was fucking her up, man.
I didn't watch that one. I blame it for putting me to sleep and missing the main event, so I didn't bother one in the morning. But I did watch the main event, Merab versus Sean. I picked Grasso, so I was wrong about that. So, but Merab versus Sean. Sean has said that, right before we get into this, I will say Sean just came out today and said that he had like a torn labrum in his hip. So that makes a lot of sense why he wasn't kicking as much, and it was just weird.
That's awesome how he said on his podcast like a couple weeks ago that he was 100%.
Huh?
He said on his podcast or some interview or something like a week ago that he was like 100%.
Everybody says that, but he's actually he says he's going to take some time off to fix it, so we'll see. But
yeah, he's a very injury prone guy.
He's a skinny guy. I can relate. It's rough on the body. He does a lot of shit. Like, he has like nutritionists and scientists and shit that do stuff for him. He says he submits like stool samples and shit just to stay healthy. Like, they analyzes himself, all sorts of shit about him, like blood and spit and whatever, everything. He has like scientists analyzing his health and shit. But he is skinny, so shit happens. I don't know, but anyway, he got beat in this fight just basically with the wrestling. Merab did, he got the takedowns. He didn't really hurt O'Malley much throughout the fight or at all. It just wrestling, and O'Malley got tired. It seemed like after the first takedown attempt, O'Malley was just like half of his gas tank was immediately gone, and that's never good, especially for 5 rounds and versus Merab. But I figured he would get his striking going again. Like even though Peter Yan took him down, he got his striking going again. But he never really did in this one, which sucked. And but he even hurt Merab in the last round with the body kick.
Way too fucking late.
And then Merab took him down. Yeah, so it's like, I was like, why didn't you do?
Like, he didn't even do that near the beginning of the last round. He did that near the fucking end of the last round.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. He obviously, something was wrong in my opinion. I figured he would know. His whole thing is about knowing how to shine in the spotlight and shit. So, but it was like he looked defeated, like, and it didn't seem to make sense because Merab didn't like hurt him or anything. He just took him down like once or twice in the beginning of the round or the first round or so, and it was like I could tell right away that Shang didn't get up. He was tired, or when he did get up, he was tired, and it was just, I don't know. He didn't look himself. So I believe that he was injured. I think in a rematch we would look different, like especially because that you can hurt him to the body like that and shit, and you probably just hurt him anyway if you just work your striking at all. He did nothing, and it sucks. He had 49 total strikes to Merab's 214.
Yep, I enjoyed watching that fight. I like Merab.
Yeah, you're gay.
Fucking awesome fight. I'm happy Marab got the belt.
Anyway, moving on. Michael Chandler, he quit. He's done. He's not fighting Connor. He said, "Fuck this. I'm sick of you." He's fighting Charles Oliveira at UFC 309 as the co-main event.
I mean, I would have been giving up. I fucking could have told you that he wasn't gonna be able to fight Conor McGregor.
He could have fought Connor and then really retired if he wanted it. But now he has to take that break he took that they promised him this and that, and use it to manipulate his opportunities. Because if he beats Charles, he might have some opportunities like a BMF or a title shot or something. He's got big plans. He's like,
he can beat Charles, but I don't think he will beat Charles. I think it'll happen the same way. Yeah. Especially with Chandler being out for how long he's been out.
I don't know what that'll do to him for sure. I don't know what kind of issues he'll have from being out so long. But I think, in the first Charles fight, he bulldozed Charles in the first round. He was seconds away from getting a finish. And then Charles fucked him up right away in the second round.
Oliveira's title reign was so fun to watch.
Yeah, it was like someone playing as Charles Oliveira for real. It was just
even the come up to it, the fucking 7 wins in a row to it or whatever.
I did not care to watch him armbar the fuck out of Tony.
I watched those fights. Then he got his fucking title shot when Khabib was done, and then I was like, holy fuck. And then he beat basically everybody that Khabib beat except for Conor, and I was like, holy shit. And then he fucking lost to Islam, and I was like, fuck. I thought Charles was gonna beat Islam.
Charles has the opportunity now. If he beats Chandler, he could go fight Conor. So that's something he's been wanting for a while.
Dude, I think Charles would submit Conor.
Maybe. Charles drops at the fucking breeze of a feather or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
He does get hurt easy. I don't know. I want to. It also depends how Conor comes back. He could be a bulldozer, or he could be fragile old juiced up dude now and just break another limb in the fight. But I don't know. I thought it was funny that Chandler gave up. And Conor is losing control of the UFC now, so it's kind of weird to see. But moving on, Canelo fought. I don't really care, but I felt like mentioning it because it was the alternate thing to the Sphere. It was supposed to be what the Sphere was competing with or whatever, or they were competing with the Sphere. He won. He did not get a knockout, even though he said he would. So I'm like, I don't know. But this is actually funny because everybody wants to see him fight Terrence Crawford, and he has Terrence Crawford was at the Sphere, and when they put the camera on him, they said that the graphic below said Kendrick Lamar. I think I sent you that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Canelo fought. Do you give a shit? Do you even know who the guy Edgar Berlanga was? I've never heard of him before this.
Edgar Berlanga? No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Canelo keeps fighting dudes. I have no idea who they are. But his last knockout was Caleb Plant 3 years ago. So Canelo's not as fun anymore.
Yeah. But he's still Canelo.
I gotta go piss. But you can talk about this next thing if you want. By yourself if you feel like it.
Okay, yeah, I will. I shall do that. Alright, well, Mr. Co-host is taking a piss. One of the topics he brought up was the Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump debate that happened last week on September 10th. In a fucking historically horrible fucking presidential debate performance. Probably the worst performance, only fucking second to goddamn Joe Biden's horrible performance in a couple months ago, just because he's a fucking senile old man. But oh my God, Trump did fucking horrible. I don't care what you fucking say. Call me a fucking libtard, liberal, whatever the fuck you want. I'm not a liberal at all. I fucking hate Kamala Harris too. I'm about to shed some light. I fucking hate a lot of the things that she said too. I think she said some stupid things, but Donald Trump just fucking sounded like a dumbass, and he took the bait so hard. She won that debate so hard because she baited him and just made him angry and look like a fucking fool. Like, and she did make some fucking decent points against him, but I mean, I also think she's a hypocrite and I can call her out on some things. And then, let's just get into it. Basically, it was a normal debate, kind of.
They're eating our dogs.
Minutes. Yep, there you go.
They're eating our cats.
It was a normal debate for like the first fucking 15 minutes. And then they brought up crowd size, and then Trump was like, You don't bring crowds, I bring crowds, and stuff like that, and fucking he just got so mad, and he couldn't even really pay attention to the topics and like really come up with straight answers for any of the questions. He just kept saying, they're ruining our country, they're eating the dogs, something about abortion, did you know they can kill babies in West Virginia?
The governor of Virginia kills the babies.
And then they're like, the moderator's like, Mr. President, no. Then they fact checked him like fucking 5 or 6 times during the whole fucking debate. That was so crazy. And then fucking you got Kamala Harris. She just sounds like a condescending asshole like the whole time. But I mean she sounds sane compared to this dude. She baited him into getting angry, and it fucking worked for the most part. But then she has a bunch of fucking dumb shit that she says, and I'm like, you hypocrite, talking about some, like, she talks about immigration and the fucking border wall and shit about he has, but Joe Biden and his presidency, I'm not saying she's Joe Biden because they're not the same person, but obviously the vice president is still a part of her administration. The vice president still, I'm pretty sure, has to sign off on a bill. So yeah, and she's also the tiebreaker in the fucking Senate, I'm pretty sure, because it's a tied Senate. So yeah, she has a lot to do with it.
Like the way I like how Trump kept on bringing up fracking. Like, who? I get some people care about fracking. I don't think it's really that big a fucking issue, is it? Like, I mean, I know it's a problem, but I don't think people care. Who cares? Who's like, yeah, I can't believe we're fracking.
It's fucking stupid though, because what I think is stupid on that is that Trump is like, she hates fracking, but the Biden administration has fucking signed so many bills to continue fracking and oil extraction. Like, what the fuck are you, like, it's so stupid. It's like, these debates are for people who don't do research and don't know shit. Because I was thinking, and then she was like, oh, your border wall, you spend money on the border wall. And I'm like, bro, but in fucking 2022, Biden signed a bill to fucking continue construction of the border wall. They have deported more immigrants Donald Trump have ever had, and Donald Trump was like, they want to defund the police. They funded the police more than Trump had. They funded the military more than Trump had. It's bullshit. They're just hypocrites. They do the same shit, and one acts like they're so much better than the other. And then fucking you got fucking what's her name, Kamala, who's like, small businesses are the backbone of American economy. And I'm like,
that's a great impression.
I'm like, bro, I'm sure the small businesses are the backbone of the American economy, not the workers who work there and at other places, not the workers who actually keep the company in fucking shape. But okay, like that was a dumb thing. And then she was like, and I'm gonna ensure we're the most lethal fighting force, even though we fucking already are. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, great, most lethal fighting force. Who are we gonna kill now? It's really weird.
Russia. I don't know. Probably Russia.
And then, of course, the whole Israel-Palestine thing, I'm not gonna get too into it, but I'm just like, regardless of what side you're on, I'm tired of people acting like the entire conflict started on October the 7th of 2023. Right. It started way before that. And that's all they kept bringing up was October 7th. And I'm like, damn, you're not even like, and you don't even know more about the conflict other than October 7th.
I think there's something to being in office or running for office that really ages you. Like you saw it with Obama, like he was really
Mm-hmm.
young looking when he got into office, and then he was pretty much all gray
Yeah.
hair when he got out of
Dude, I
both terms.
remember that.
But with
Like,
Trump, like when Trump was going with Hillary, like his original run, he was like kind of vibrant and new and like a shock thing, I guess. And then Hillary, has already like been around for ages and fucking has all this dirt on her and stuff. And so it was like everyone didn't want her. So when Trump got in, it was like okay. And then now, 8 years later, like he was president, and then he ran, doing all this bullshit for 4 years, and then almost got assassinated right before this debate. And it's like you can see the aging on him too, and he's just not as like I don't think he's got all the quick wit and the points as he's got. He probably had like a couple note cards he studied before then. That's why he kept repeating himself. He was like, the fracking and the dogs in Springfield. She
oh
wants to
yeah,
defund the dog or
there were
something. I
there
don't
were no
remember.
notes allowed at this debate, and
Yeah,
shit
so I
like
mean,
that.
he's just
Fucking
not in his prime.
yeah, I can kind of tell he's a little
I don't know.
older. Like he's not Biden senile, but like he's not really senile, but he's not. His remarks and everything isn't as good as they used to be, and it seems like he used to be able to control a debate and a conversation and get into people's heads. And it seems like people can get into his head more often than not now. Like, it seems like Kamala really got into his head.
Well, this is gonna be the best segue ever. Ready?
Yes.
That's a golf clap. He almost got assassinated at his golf club.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that
Yeah.
he did. Another fucking assassination attempt.
Let me look up the guy.
Dude, that
I'm
dude
gonna
is
look up
fucking crazy. I have no idea what his political beliefs are. I read his Twitter, and I can't tell if this dude's like a fucking Trump-hating Republican or if he's like a liberal. Like, I don't know which one. It's really
this
fucking
old,
weird.
cracky looking white dude.
Yes, because he posts. He likes Vivek Ramaswamy and like Tulsi Gabbard and shit like that, and fucking Nikki Haley. And he's like, you need to stay in the fight against Trump and stuff. And he's like, I voted for Trump in 2016, but now he's like, fuck him, blah blah blah. And then he's like, Joe Biden's campaign should be called Keep America Democratic and Free Again, while fucking Trump's campaign should be called Make America Slaves Again, Master. I'm like, what? This
Jesus, yeah,
but
I heard one
he's so
conspiracy about this.
contradicting. Like, he's supportive of Republicans and certain Republicans and says Republican shit, but then he's like sucking the dick of Joe Biden and a bunch of Democrats, and it makes me wonder, like, where are you on this place? Like, I mean, I know me, I'm not a liberal or I'm not conservative, but I can clearly say what I am, like a fucking Marxist socialist. Like, at least I have a fucking ideology. I don't know what the fuck this guy is.
I don't know, but I heard a conspiracy that there was like him and this both shooters were like connected to some kind of company. I don't know. I really I'm not a conspiracy guy, so I didn't write it down all the way. Black room, maybe. I don't know. Black.
People were talking about it being like, people were talking about the fucking first assassination attempt being a publicity stunt. If there was one that was, it was this one, because the dude was just sitting in the bushes, and I know he shot, but he missed, and then the Secret Service shot at him and missed and shit.
Yeah, now they have him in custody.
Yeah, this one they have in custody. I still don't think it was fucking. I don't think it was a setup or anything. I think this dude was just crazy, like the last dude. But fuck, dude. Like, damn, is Trump gonna make it to the fucking election? How many people are gonna try and kill him?
I don't know, but someone who did die, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, rest in peace. I will always remember your husky breaths in the robo voice.
Yes, rest in peace to Darth Vader.
I can do it.
take this over for a little bit because I have to pee just like you did as well. So
I can
rest
just
in
wrap it up. I'm gonna do the shenanigan of the week.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Shenanigan guys, and rest in peace to Darth Vader.
Rest in piss. I mean, not really that, but.
The Shenanigan of the week.
So the shenanigan of the week, unfortunately, it goes to Marab. At the end of one of the rounds in their fight, Marab had Sean crunched up on the side of the fence in a guillotine position, and then he decides he's going to give him a smooch on the back of the neck. A couple of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 smooches on the back of the neck. And then Sean gets up because Marab turns his back on Sean and leaves before the round's over. Sean gets up and punches him in the side of the head one good time while he's turned around. Sean will be back. I believe it. Jamal Hill, Sean O'Malley, Volkanovski, and someone else that I like will be champions again. So I guess I'm going to talk until Caleb gets back to end the recording. What's going on in the NFL right now that I would like to say? The Rams are going to suck. I don't know when we're going to start rebuilding or not. If we suck this year, like for real, like we can't get back on track like we did last year somehow, I think we'd have to start the rebuild. I don't know how long Matthew Stafford can keep fucking doing this. He's like 36 or 37 as it is now, so I don't know when he'll be done. And as soon as Stafford's done, we'll have to move on and rebuild. And then when we do rebuild, will McVay stick around because he wants to be a fucking TV star? So, oh yeah, you know what? Before this show ends, one more thing I've been forgetting to mention for weeks. Bill Belichick is doing the fucking Peyton Manning and Eli Manning shit with them on football, the Manning cast. So that's cool.
Is he?
Huh?
Is he? I did not know.
I've been meaning to talk about that for like weeks. But yeah, cool. You can end it now. I was just talking to him.
That's funny. Alright guys, I'm back from my pee, so that means the episode is ending. And I got a special end-off for you guys from just like Marab to Sean. This is from me to you all. See you all in the next episode.